Hello everybody, Dave here, and it's been 4 days since I re-poured the resin. I say re-poured because if you haven't seen the previous videos, the mould I made around a piece of wood, I poured the resin, it was perfect, and then after about 2 minutes it started leaking, so yeah, panic set in, had to pour the resin out, reseal it, and re-pour it. Now, obviously, I haven't recorded anything over the last 3 or 4 days. Sorry if I'm moving about. My table is in dire need of repair. It is covered now in glue, big chunks of resin, and stuff like that. So, yeah. Anyway, so for today, yeah, as I was saying, I hadn't recorded anything over the last 4 days. But what I did was, on the day that I poured the resin, I sort of very nervously, every so often, came and checked to see if the mould was leaking, and there was a few occasions where I thought it was, but it wasn't. So it was a very nervy sort of day, or rest of the night. But actually that carried on for a couple of days because I know that it was still going to be liquid for at least 24 hours, potentially 36. So I was nervous over the next couple of days, but I did periodically check on it. I kind of checked on it when I got up, and mainly the things I was looking for was, okay, is it leaking? Are there any air bubbles? Because if it's leaking, got to deal with it. If there's air bubbles, I need to get some heat on it, because once it's set with air bubbles in, there's nothing I can do about it. Now, I was only quickly checking, and I didn't find any, I wasn't seeing any leaks, and I wasn't seeing any air bubbles. But what I've not done is had a good look at it yet, and that's because I wanted to make sure it was solid before I attempted to move it or attempted to have a really good look at it. Now, yesterday when I checked it, I did poke it to see if it had gone hard, and it did appear to have set, but it did still kind of have a slight spongy feel to it. So that's why I've left it until today. So that's why it's been 4 days, not 3. So what I'm going to do in a minute, I'm going to lift the cover off. I did leave the cover on for the whole time, and yeah, something I thought I saw yesterday, I kind of am seeing, but I'll get onto that. So first thing I'm going to try and do, not that you can see this, first thing I'm going to try and do is just see if I can pick this up, because I need to know if the pieces of wood that this is on are going to be stuck to the perspex, or if they are, whether the wood is also stuck to the table, because the table did suffer some resin leakage, and I don't know what condition it is in. So yep, I can't pick it up. Oh dear. Oh look, oh dear. Right, let me take my coffee off of there, and put it on the floor. Okay, so it would appear that I am stuck to the wood, and the wood is stuck to the table. Oh. You know what, I hadn't actually thought of whether that was going to be a much of a problem today when I was preparing for this. Okay, well let's have a look. Obviously you can see from there that I've still got the perspex on, and that is one of the things that I was hoping to try and do today, was to try and take the perspex off and see what we're left with after that. Is it sealed solid? It looks like it enough for me. Okay, so there we go. So that's what we're looking like at the moment, and look at that reflection. I mean, it's sort of getting close to night time outside, but I've got to admit the natural finish of it, I am absolutely delighted with it. I think this looks really, really nice. The question is a 10-year-old girl gonna like it? I think she will, because she likes crafty things. So hopefully, I hope that she will like it. Okay, so as I've said, that's one of the things that I want to try and do today, is to get the perspex off. Now, the way I'll go about doing that is I will take the screws out and I will see if I can just peel and pick the perspex off. I don't think the glue is going to hold it in place too hard, but it's more a case of how tough is the resin going to hold on to it, because that could be an issue. I may have to be prepared for a little bit of damage around the edge, which I am prepared for. But if it creeps into the main piece, I'm fucked. So yeah, I do have to take a little bit of caution there. I may even need to heat the glue. We'll see, because is that? I think they're resin. That's resin that's come through the wood. Could be, because it doesn't look like glue. That's weird. Okay. What was I saying? Yeah, so I may need to heat the glue up to get that to come off. Maybe not. We'll see, because when I peeled it off from the first pour, obviously it had only just been applied, whereas this has been on for a few days now. Right, the other thing that I want to try and do as well, I'm hoping to, or thinking of doing, is what I had contemplated with this is whether to put a couple of holes in this and then have some kind of rope or string or something nice going through it that it could be hung from, which could be done, but I think I'll leave that. If Holly wants to hang it up somewhere, then we can get a holes drilled in it, no problem. But what I was actually thinking of doing, or what the idea I've sort of come across, is that I do have one more piece of this same type of wood, and I'm contemplating making that a base. So I'd mentioned before about I might be able to use the screw holes. Well, part of that would be having it on there. So I'm kind of toying with the idea of that, but that obviously means additional work. However, with it being that particular piece and mainly being on that side, I don't know how long it'd take. It just need cleaning up, sanding, and then finishing really, and obviously cleaning up the underneath, and potentially whether I want to do anything else on it, like for example, not that I'd noticed it before because I hadn't looked, but there's a big run all the way down here. I guess I could put a bit of resin in there if I wanted to, but I don't think I really need to. I think, to be honest, with the base, it just needs to be a base. But what I was contemplating doing was basically taking out a bit of a strip in here, so that this would actually sit down into a slot, because then it could be glued and screwed just to make it a little more secure. And also it would mean then that it could stand up, and yeah, then basically she could put it wherever she wants, really, even if it is in the bin. Right, but what I need to do is try and get this off. So, oh fucking hell. Okay. Yep. Okay. So they're stuck. Right. Let's see if we can make some progress with this. I don't think there's any way at all that these pieces will come off easy. Obviously, once I have taken these off as well, the edges are all going to need cleaning up and dealing with. That's feeling pretty solid on there, if I'm honest. I'm just wondering if maybe I should get one of my knives and sort of try and get into the edge of the resin and the perspex, but I don't really want to do that and cause more issues. Right, all those screws can all go back in there. Oh. Okay, so let's see if we just wondering if it's worth me trying to pick off some of the glue. Might be a good idea that. So I'll use my little very handy tool. This has been part of a spot removal pack with a handy couple of tools that are useful in craft work. Come on, up you come. It might take a lot longer than previous to get the glue up, considering how long it's been on there, but I'm hoping once I can get a decent amount lifted, it might all come off in one. Very doubtful. We can but hope. bit like that. But yeah, I think you can see as well that because I've now got pieces of wood stuck to the table, I'm definitely in need of doing some repairs to this table. It needs the top cleaning down, sanding down, to give me a flat surface again. I should have treated it better, to be honest. Oh. Let's see if we can. Something I was told many years ago, and it is true. Was if you look after your tools will look after you. I suppose it's the same for your parents. If you look after your parents will look after you. Oh, nearly stabbed myself. Do not want to be doing that. Now I may have been better off using a Stanley blade for this, but considering that I have just nearly stabbed myself, it's probably a good job that I'm not. Let's see if we can get round the corner. Now, considering that this didn't leak on the second application, it would suggest that I definitely put enough glue on it to seal it. Got to be careful, but need to be forceful. And I was thinking today as well that something that might have been a good idea would have been putting tape on the perspex where the resin was going to go up to it, because then it'd be easier to detach. But I didn't think about that at the time. Okay, that's the resin that is popping off. To make sure it's not cracking off. I can kind of see it detaching as I'm going along. That's just what I'm trying to do at the moment, just get it to detach off there. If I can get it to detach slowly, I'm okay with that. I can actually see it as well on this side where it is detaching as well. I just want to get it so that it is sort of not held on by the resin anymore. Try and do that gently so that I don't crack the resin. Not off all of it, we are off most of it there. Tense stuff this. Actually, I think I am detached all the way through. Okay, right, so try and get this bit off. Without stabbing myself. Now you might wonder why I'm going to the side here. I'm going to try doing both of these and then both of those really. I probably should just go around the corner, but you've been working so well. Don't stop now. Careful. I'm thinking of ways of cutting corners and I really shouldn't, because cutting corners tends to lead to taking longer. I'm thinking like that. Oh. Get that Stanley blade. Might help. As long as I don't go doing anything stupid. Like that. come on. You know you want to come out to there. Oh. That's hurting my fingers. Right, let's try. I'm going to try cutting corners. I hope this works. Oh. Is it detached? Yes. I think that's detached. Be amazed if that hasn't cracked the resin. But now what I'm thinking is, because it's away from the resin, I can be a little more forceful with it. Well, we're almost there. Now, okay, let's get it off of these. At some point I'll have to try and clean up the perspex. So I suppose it's another case of making it look shit to make it look nicer. Because this now clearly does need some work, and interestingly I do have an edge, I've got a lip, which I wasn't really expecting to have, but I suppose maybe with the resin going down the sides and all that. Interesting. Ow! Oh, I stabbed myself. Okay, interestingly, it looks like the resin has kind of enclosed the glue in there. So the first load of glue that I had applied, unless it's just the marks of where the glue was, could be. But yeah, I mean, so looking at it. Okay, looking at it in hindsight, I think next time I'd doing a similar thing, I probably would, I don't know, maybe screw directly on and seal from underneath, because the resin's got into the edge anyway, but now there's bits of it where it's encased the glue. It's definitely encased it over here. Now, I was aware that I would more than likely have to clean up every edge, so, and by that I mean sanding it down. So one of the reasons I wanted to get this done today is so that I know what I need to do next. And I think in many respects what I might need to do is just get something to go over the front of this while I'm working on it, because I don't really want to fuck that up. But because I am going to have to sand down the lip, there's a good chance that I'm going to end up having to sand down the whole thing, which I was aware may be a possibility, and it is one of the reasons why we've gone for the thick clear layer here, in the hope that I can bring this back up to a nice shine. I have the equipment to do that, so I should be able to do it. So things that I'm going to need to do then is to sand down the lip. But interestingly, I think what I will try and do, instead of having that, won't be job number one. Job number one will be to clean off the edges, because what I might find is that by sanding down the edges I get rid of the lip anyway, so it's possible that could happen. So dealing with all of the edges is going to be first, along with dealing with all of the excess glue. Well, it wasn't excess, was it? To be fair, this glue saved the whole project. Now, I don't know, I know I said when I was pouring it that like, if I was doing this again I'd perhaps use a different glue, but I think, to be honest, applying to the sides, maybe yeah, I would use a different glue, but in sealing it around the bottom like this, no, this would be better. Now I could use like big tubes of sealant, but I might find it doesn't come off as well as this might. It does just mean that I'm going to need to get myself a load more glue sticks, because it did take a lot of them. However, I'm not really intending on doing something like this again anytime soon, because I want to get onto the radio, because we are now 1st of December and I want the radio to be a Christmas present, because I can tell you now, they don't know it's gone. But yeah, so that's what I want to get onto next. I know I've still got loads of other stuff to do, but sometimes things just come along and get in the way and plans change. And obviously the plans changed a lot when I decided to do this, and changed a lot again with how long it took to do this. obviously with the idea of doing the radio for Christmas, with that idea coming along, then yeah, I'm putting my stuff on the back burner. So I am hoping though that after Christmas, I'm hoping to be able to make a start on my table. Although the glue has been a little awkward to get off, I've actually been fairly happy with how it has come off. Okay, it was a ball ache to apply, and I've ended up with bits of it everywhere, but getting it off, I'm fairly pleased with that. Okay, so all that lot's going to need to go into the bin. So we've got messy edges, but a lovely, successful first big pour with no air bubbles. Okay, I think I'm going to leave that there for today, so that I can plan and make sure that I am doing the right things going forward, because I think I'm going to need to have this potentially clamped. I don't want to be free-handing the sanding on there. So yeah, so I'm going to need to decide a few things. The thing is, well, the weather's turning, so doing stuff outside not so easy to do. Obviously I can clamp this to the table, but again, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to need to cover this, because I don't want to damage it. So I may be able to sort of clamp it over the side so that I can sand over the edge. I mean, I can have it clamped over the edge for sanding the ends, but obviously clamping it that way is not going to work for doing the top. So I may have to do it sideways, but that's all stuff that I'm going to have to figure out and get on with. But I've got to say, I am absolutely delighted with how that has come out. So yeah, I actually I've been very concerned about it for 4 days. Now I'm going to be concerned about it, because if it goes wrong now, it's down to me. So I mean, another reason as well that I'm not going to rush and do this today is because I mean, I'm already way beyond the birthday date, but also I just want to make sure that if I'm going to be sanding this resin, that it's properly set when I'm doing it, because I don't want to cause more issues than I need. Right, been a bit of a long one, this one, but for me, a real big milestone. And just to try and show it as well, just try and show you how thick the layer of resin is. It's what, about 4 mil? About 4 mil thick. So the pour, like I said, has worked really well, so well that I've now got 2 support pieces on my table. Alright, have a good one everyone, and see you again soon.